Can bees get drunk? The wild truth about boozy bugs. Welcome to FactSpark, where we uncover the most astonishing truths about the natural world. Ever had one of those days where you just feel a little buzzed? Well, turns out you're not alone. Ever seen a bee looking a little off? Stumbling, flying erratically, maybe even lying on its back, wiggling its legs? Believe it or not, bees can actually get drunk. This surprising phenomenon immediately grabs attention, drawing you into a world where tiny pollinators behave remarkably like humans who've had one too many. This unexpected commonality between humans and insects creates immediate intrigue and sets a lighthearted yet informative tone, perfect for anyone curious about the wild side of nature. Today, we're diving into the fascinating and sometimes hilarious world of intoxicated honeybees. It's not just a funny anecdote. It's a real scientific phenomenon with some surprising implications for both bees and even human research. Get ready to have your mind blown by these tiny party animals. So how do these tiny foragers end up with a buzz? It all comes down to fermentation. Imagine stumbling upon a natural happy hour, but instead of margaritas, it's fermented flower juice. That's pretty much how our little bee buddies get their buzz. It's all thanks to yeast, the tiny party starters that turn sugary nectar or tree sap into ethanol. Yep, the same stuff that makes us wobbly. Think of it, a warm, humid day, a flower with a little too much moisture, and voila, instant bee bar. And get this, some bees have been caught chugging ethanol solutions up to 95% in labs. Talk about a strong drink. This clarifies that bee intoxication is primarily an accidental consequence of natural fermentation in their environment, rather than intentional consumption, underscoring how environmental conditions directly influence the availability of fermented substances and thereby impact bee behavior. Once they've had too much, bees behave remarkably like humans who've had one too many. They lose their balance, become less coordinated, and have difficulty moving. You might see them doing the stagger walk, bumping into everything, or just lying on their backs, wiggling their legs in pure, unadulterated confusion. Forget flying straight. It's more like a mid-air obstacle course they keep failing. And just like us, alcohol messes with their memory and ability to learn. Surprisingly, some species, like Africanized honeybees, can even get a bit grumpy when they're tipsy, turning into tiny, aggressive party crashers. The craziest part? Their hangover can last up to 48 hours. Who knew bees had so much in common with our weekend warriors? The striking similarities between human and bee responses to alcohol highlight a shared biological vulnerability across vastly different species, making complex scientific concepts more understandable and memorable. Now here's where the real drama unfolds. When a tipsy bee tries to waltz back into the hive, it's met by the ultimate buzzkills, the bouncer bees or guard bees. These aren't your average friendly neighborhood guards. They're the no-nonsense doormen of the bee world. One look at that wobbly walk and one whiff of that wrong smell, thanks alcohol, and bam, entry denied. Why so harsh? Because a drunk bee carrying fermented nectar is a walking, buzzing biohazard. That boozy brew could spoil the entire hive's golden honey supply, turning their sweet pantry into a sour mess and making everyone sick. So if a bee gets too hammered, it's often a one-way ticket to the great beyond. Rejected by the colony, they're left to fend for themselves against predators or the elements. Some reports even say their sober sisters might just take care of them permanently. Ouch. Talk about tough love for the greater good. The hive's severe response to intoxicated bees reveals a highly sophisticated social defense mechanism, demonstrating a remarkable level of collective intelligence, where the welfare of the colony takes absolute precedence over the individual bee. But wait, there's more to these buzzed bugs than just a good laugh. The whole drunk bee phenomenon isn't just a wild party trick. It's actually a goldmine for science. Since alcohol messes with bees' brains and bodies in ways eerily similar to how it affects us. Think wobbly walking, fuzzy memory, and even addiction. Honeybees are becoming tiny, furry supermodels for human alcohol studies. Scientists are literally giving bees booze to figure out how addiction works at a molecular level. They've even seen bees get alcohol tolerance and withdrawal symptoms. So, next time you see a bee looking a little tipsy, remember, it might just be contributing to groundbreaking research. This demonstrates how discoveries from one species can significantly advance understanding across the tree of life, elevating the topic from a quirky animal anecdote to a significant area of scientific inquiry with direct human relevance. Now for the million-dollar question. Do bees make alcoholic honey? As in, can you get a buzz from a spoonful of honey? Drum roll, please? Nope. Sorry to burst your bubble, but those diligent guard bees we just talked about are on high alert for any fermented goodies trying to sneak in. Honey itself is a super preservative with hardly any water, making it practically immune to fermentation. Plus, alcohol is a bit of a lightweight. It evaporates way faster than water. So any tiny trace would just vanish into thin air. While humans have been brewing mead, basically honey wine, for thousands of years, that's our doing, not the bee's secret party trick in the hive. So, your morning toast is safe from any unexpected hangovers. This section directly addresses and corrects a common misconception, reinforcing the earlier point about the hive's sophisticated protective mechanisms and enhancing the video's scientific accuracy. So, who knew bees were such wild party animals, even if it's by accident? From wobbly flights to getting kicked out of the hive by their no-nonsense bouncer sisters, these little guys have a surprisingly human-like relationship with alcohol. And the best part? Their accidental antics are actually helping scientists unlock the mysteries of addiction. It just goes to show, the natural world is full of surprises, and sometimes the wildest facts come in the smallest, fuzziest packages. If you got a kick out of these buzzed beauties, hit that like button, subscribe to FactSpark for more mind-blowing animal truths, and tell us in the comments, what's the craziest animal fact you've ever stumbled upon?